Okay, good morning. We are on Tes Vav Amud Aleph. We'll start at Yud Aleph and Beis on the bottom. We're talking about Asay, Lava Nitak, Lasay, etc. Okay, Zak the Gemara. Amar Rabba Bar Bar Chana, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Kol lo saseh shekidmu asay, lokin alav. So we know that there is something called a lav hanitak laseh, where the lav comes first, and then the asay comes afterwards. As Rashi says, lo sotiru mimenu ad boker, you can't leave over until the morning. V'anosar mimenu ad boker ba'esh tisrofu. There's a lav to leave it over till the morning, and then there's an asay that if you leave it over, you need to burn it. That's a lav hanitak laaseh. Rabbi Yochanan is not talking about that. Rabbi Yochanan is talking about a case where you have the asay before the lav. That means that, yeah, maybe the asay is fixing the lav, but in the order of the pasuk, the asay comes first and then the lav. So in that case, even though in the case of lav hanitak lasay, we assume that the asay is fixing the lav and therefore you will not get malchus for the asay, in the case, you will not get malchus if you do the asay. In the case of asay, which is before the lo saseh, which he's referring to as a lo saseh shekidmu asay, the asay comes first, in that case you will get malchus. What's the example? Says the Gemara, Amru lo amarta, so then they said to him, did you really say this? Seemingly they're saying to Rabbah, or to Rabbi Yochanan, we heard this in your mouth, did you really say this? Amr lahu lo, I was chazer bo. We're going to see that the Gemara is going to end that we don't understand why he was chazer bo. Why was he chazer bo? Amar Rabbah, Elohim amro ksiva v'tanina. He was chazer bo when he said that a lav, which comes after the asay, he was chazer. He said that you get malchus, and he was chazer and said that no, it's really like a lav hanitak lasay. That's the basis of today's shiur. Everybody understand that? There's a lav hanitak lasay, and then there's the asay that comes before the lav. The lav hanitak lasay, everybody says no malchus. We're discussing the asay that comes and then the lav, and we'll give an example in 1 second. According to Rabbi Yochanan, you get malchus for that. According to other people, it's exactly like a lav hanitak lasay. Just because the asay was written in the pasuk 4, it could still fix the lav. Let's see an example. Ksiva. It says in the Torah, Tzaves b'nei Yisrael v'yishalchu min hamachaneh kol tzarua v'chol zav v'chol tamei lanafesh. You should send out from the camp anybody who's tamei mizachara nekeva tishalechu el michutz hamachaneh tishalchum. That's the asay. You send out a person who's tamei from the camp. Then it says v'lo yitamu es machanehem. They can't be metamei the Beis Hamikdash or the Mishkan. So if it would have said v'lo yitamu es machanehem, you can't go ahead and be metami the Mishkan, and then it would have said v'yishalchu min hamachaneh, then what would I have told you? I would have told you that's a lav hanitak laseh. You can't be metame the Mishkan, and if you are metame the Mishkan, you get malchus, but you can fix that, and instead of getting malchus, you could send them out of the machaneh. But over here, since it says first, you need to send them out of the machaneh, and then it says v'lo yitamu es machanehem, if you do go into the mikdash, even if you then get sent out of the machaneh, it will not fix the malchus because the asay came first. That's the example of asay before the lo saseh. So that's what it says in the pasuk. So tanina, and yet we have a brayso that says habal mikdash tamei. You're still tamei when you go into the mikdash, and therefore he says you see that it must be that when you have a what? When you have an asay before the lo saseh, you are going to get malchus. Ela my time akahadabe. So why did he go back? It means you have an example by the mikdash, by being metame and going to the mikdash. You have an example where the asay came first, and then the lo saseh, and we have an example over there where we're going to say what? We're going to say that you're not going. We're going to say that you're going to get malchus. So at the end of the day, ela my time akahadabe. So why do we see mahadabe? That's exactly what he said, because there are other cases which seem to contradict that which he holds. Mishum dekashale ones. Now let's just say this outside again: an ones and a motzi shemra. The Torah tells us that if you marry a woman, in Devarim Chav Beis, if you marry a woman and then you're motzi shemra that she doesn't have any basulim, that she wasn't a virgin. So the Torah says, what do? First of all, you get malchus, v'yisru oso. Then you have to pay the father 100 kasef. Then lo yuchal lishalcha kol yamav. Well, really, the pasuk says v'lo tiel isha. You have to keep her as a wife. Lo yuchal lishalcha kol yamav. So we're going to discuss that whole discussion today. Is v'lo tiel isha. The pasuk says in asay, you need to keep her as an isha. Lo yuchal shalcha kol yamav. You can't send her out your entire life. What happens if you send her out? So again, in this case of motzi shemra, you get malchus right away. You go ahead and you say that she's not a basula and she's really a basula, and they find that you're lying, you get malchus. Now it says, veloti el isha, you're never allowed to send her away. Now beforehand you could divorce her, now you can't divorce her. Lo yuchal shacha kol yamav. So now we have the asay. What happens if you send her out? Now let's say you do divorce her. You're over the lav of lo yuchal shacha kol yamav. Now let's say you take her back. Can you get rid of the malchus by taking her back after being over the lav? So if it's a lav anitak lasay, then you can correct it with the asay of taking her back. Well, where do you see an asay here? So that's what the Gemara is going to discuss. If there is an asay veloti el isha, it's coming before the lav of lo yuchal shacha kol yamav. Go to ones, which is a few psukim later. If you rape a woman, you need to go ahead and you need to give. There's no malchus just for raping, but you need to go ahead and give 50 kesef to the father. Then it also says veloti el isha. You need to marry her, and lo yuchal shacha kol yamav. You can't send her out her entire life. Again, what happens if you send her out? So the question is, you need to marry her. So is that you need to marry her only originally, or is it saying if you send her out, you need to take her back? Let's see what the Gemara says. But the Gemara is saying that this idea of an asay coming before los asay, and that you're going to get malchus, is disproven from ones. Where is it disproven? It says the Gemara. Yeah, this is a hard Gemara. It says the Gemara Tanya. Ones shegiresh im Yisrael hu machzir ve'eno loke. Im kohen hu loke ve'ena machzir. Im Yisrael hu machzir ve'eno loke. Amai lo taseh shekidmu asehu velilki. We said that if an ones actually goes ahead, this is a brisa talking. If an ones goes ahead, you go ahead and you rape a girl. Now you have to marry her. You marry her. Now you're not allowed to divorce her. Veloti elisha lo yuchal shacha kol yamav. Now you divorce her. What happens? Well, if you're Kohen, there's nothing to talk about. For sure you get malchus because you can't take her back. If a Yisrael, well, what happens? Well, according to Rabbi Yochanan, what would happen? The asay veloti el isha comes before the los asay of lo yuchal shacha kol yamav. Therefore, according to Rabbi Yochanan, what should the halacha be in this case? If you divorce her, you get malchus. What's the halacha though? The halacha is eino loke. Therefore, you see the fact that the is eino loke shows me that where you have the asay of veloti el isha before the los asay of lo yuchal shacha kol yamav, nevertheless we treat it like a lav anitak lasay, like the lav coming first, and therefore really the halacha should be eino loke, and that's why he was choser. Says the Gemara Amar Ula, no, this case is different, and that's how the Gemara is going to go for the rest of the daf. It's going to reject this and say ones and motzi shemra are different, and really they're cases of lav hanitak lasay, and therefore we have no proof against Rabbi Yochanan. Again, it's not going to answer why was he choser. But Lamaisa, we're trying to prove now why he should or shouldn't have been choser. Amarula, lo yomar lo tiel isha be'ones v'ligmar mimotzi shemer. So now we're saying, well, why does it have to say lo tiel isha by both? You should have had a kal v'chomer. That means if it would have said lo tiel isha, that when you're motzi shemer about a woman, you have to keep her and you can never send her out. So then you would know that by kal v'chomer by ones. Why? Uba motzi shemer shelo asa ma'isa amrachmana v'lo tiel isha. If by motzi shemer, well, you didn't actually do anything to her, all you did was spread a rumor, and nevertheless the punishment is you need to keep her your whole life. Ones lo kol shekain. Is it not obvious then that if you rape a woman, you'd have to keep her your whole life? Says the Gemara, im eino inyan lefanav teneyu inyan la'acharav. So it must be what? It must be that you don't need veloti el isha originally by ones. You could have learned from motzi shemra. Therefore, when it says veloti el isha by ones, it must not mean that after you rape her, you must initially take her as a wife, because that's obvious. We know that from motzi shemra. So what is veloti el isha by ones coming to tell me? Afterwards, if you divorce her, then there is an asay to take her back. So even though it's written in the pasuk veloti el isha lo yuchal shacha kol yamav, even though it's written in the pasuk that you can't send her out, veloti el isha is really as if it was written afterwards lo yuchal shacha kol yamav. Therefore, it becomes a case of a lav hanitak lasay. Therefore, even Rabbi Yochanan would agree in that case that would be a case where you would not get malchus. But Eina Chanami, he would still stay strong and say that in the case where you have the asay before the los asay, you will in fact get malchus. But he says that veloti el isha, which is extra here, it's as if it's going in the end. Says the Gemara, v'akati ones mimotzi shemer lo gamar. But you still can't learn ones mimotzi shemer. He said you can't learn it. You're shaking your head. You shouldn't be able to learn it. You're right. You can't learn it. Why? Because one can argue ma lemotzi shemer shekein lokeu mishalim. For whatever reason, even though it's hard for us to understand, I would have said which is worse, rape or motzi shemra. You would say rape. The Gemara says no. Motzi shemra is clearly worse because when you're motzi shemra, not only do you pay, first of all, you pay 100 versus ones you pay 50, and by motzi shemra you get malchus right away just for the initial motzi shemra. and you don't get malchus for the onus. You just have to take her as a wife. You're only talking about getting malchus now. We're talking about you get malchus if you divorce her and don't take her back. You get another malchus by motzi shemra if you get rid of her and don't take her back. But mala motzi shemra shekein lokim mishalem. How can you go ahead and compare onus and say, well, kal vachomer, if motzi shemra you need to keep her forever, then by onus as well. But motzi shemra is stricter. Therefore, you don't have the extra velotia leisha by onus. You need it by onus. And if you're telling me that you need me by onus to tell me that you need to marry her originally, then you don't have a lotia leisha to tell me that if you divorce her, then you need to keep her. And therefore, the lotia leisha seems to be before and after. And therefore, at the end of the day, we see that you have the asay before the los asay, and by the asay before the los asay, it would be eino loken, not like Rabbi Yochanan.
As far as since you're already married to her, maybe more akrai to her, as opposed to this woman who you don't know,
Could be. Ella, rather, lo yomar lo tielisha b'motzi shemra v'ligmar merones. Now let's do the opposite. Let's learn a kal vachomer from ones to motzi shemra. That means, why does it say lo tielisha by motzi shemra? Ma ones she'eno lokir mishalim mamrachmana v'lo tielisha. If ones, which is not as strict because you don't get malchus right away when you rape her and you only pay $50, at the end of the day it's still v'lo tielisha. Motzi shemra lo kol shekain. So then for sure by motzi shemra, where you go ahead and you have to pay and you get malchus right away, for sure you have to keep her as a wife your whole life. So why does it say v'lo tielisha by motzi shemra? V'lama nemar imeino inyan lemotzi shemra t'nei inyan lonis. It's not needed by motzi shemra. Therefore, what do you do with it? You take it to ones. So from ones, you can learn kal vachomer to motzi shemra, then you need to stay married to her. But now you have an extra hanging in the air. You have an extra velo tielisha. So if you bring that to ones, now what do you have? You rape a girl, velo tielisha, you need to marry her. If what? Lo teshalchena, you can't send her away. What happens if you send her away? There's another assay of velo tielisha, which we took from motzi shemra. Now this becomes a lav anitak laseh, and therefore everybody would agree that you're eino lok elav. Im eino inyan lefanav t'nei inyan leacharav. If it's not an inyan for lefanav by onus, you don't need it because it already says v'lo tielisha. It's an inyan leacharav that when you divorce her, there's a mitzvah to take her back. Says the Gemara, a problem. Motzi shemra me'ones nami lo gamar. You still can't learn motzi shemra me'ones. You can't make the kal vachomer that way either. Why? De'ikal mifrach mala ones shekein asa ma'aseh. In certain ways, motzi shemra is stricter because of the punishment and because of the malchus originally. But in certain cases, ones, in certain ways, ones is stricter because by ones you're actually doing a ma'aseh. Motzi shemra, all you're doing is spreading rumors about her. By ones, you're actually raping her. Ella, rather what? Now we're stuck because now we have no extra anything, and therefore it goes back to onus being lotia leisha asay followed by los asay. And if you're saying that you don't get malchus, and that is clearly not like Rabbi Yochanan. Ela lo yomar lotia leisha b'motzi shemra sharei ishtohi. No, forget about comparing onus and motzi shemra. There's no reason to say velotia leisha. You go ahead and you're motzi shemra about your wife that she didn't have the basulim, she wasn't a virgin. You pay her $100, you get malchus velotia leisha. And you take her as a wife. What do you mean you take her as a wife? You're already married to her. Therefore, you don't need velotia leisha there. Therefore, what do you do with that extra velotia leisha? You bring it to ones, and now you know afterwards by ones. Lama namar. Why does it say, Im eino inyan lemotzi shemra t'nei inyan leones, if im eino inyan lefanav t'nei inyan leacharav? The Gemara is going to ask one obvious question. What's the obvious question before we see? Why are we taking it from motzi shemra to ones? Why don't we say we don't need it beforehand because you're already married, but why don't we move it to after by motzi shemra if you send her out, then use it there, but by onus we don't have it. Says the Gemara, ve'ema v'meino inyan lefanav de motzi shemra t'nei inyan leacharav didei de lo laki. Why don't you teach me that you're not going to get malchus? Because at that point, if you're taking it to onus, that means that by motzi shemra, if you do divorce her, you're going to get malchus. Says the Gemara, eina chanami. You're right. Ve'asi ones v'gamar minei. Now we have to learn ones from motzi shemra. So let's see what that means. We just said we can't compare ones to motzi shemra because ones is stricter. So right now, where are we holding? Right now we're holding in the Gemara that you have motzi shemra, you have an extra velotia elisha by motzi shemra because they're already married. Therefore, that velotia elisha by motzi shemra goes to the end of the pasuk, which means that if in fact you go ahead and you divorce a wife who you were motzi shemra on, there is now a mitzvah asay to go ahead velotia elisha and to take her back. And therefore what? Therefore there will be no malchus if you go ahead and you divorce her. However, by onus we haven't said anything yet. By onus right now all we have is velotia elisha, and then you can't send her away. If you do send her away, seemingly you should get malchus. So why is the halacha that you don't get malchus? Says the Gemara, El Amarava Kol Yamav. He said, read the pasuk. Because the pasuk says what? V'lo tiel le'isha, you rape a girl, you have to marry her. Lo yuchal l'shalcha, mitzvahs lo saseh, to divorce her. Kol yamav is extra. What does it say, kol yamav? You can't send her away. What do you mean, kol yamav? So the Gemara is learning that the word kol yamav is adding a mitzvahs aseh to take her back. You can't send her away. That's what it should have said. You can't send her away for your whole life, means that if you send her away, you have the rest of your life to bring her back. So it goes from being a aseh, v'lo tiel le'isha, you rape her, you take her as a wife. Aseh. You take her as a wife, mekayim the aseh. Crazy, now you're mekayim the aseh. Okay. Now, you have an isser to send her away. There's no aseh afterwards, which seemingly means if you send her away, you're going to get malchus. Why is the halacha that you don't get malchus? Because it's really a lav hanitak la'aseh. Because really there is an aseh afterwards. Kol yamav teaches me that if you send her away, you have a mitzvah to say to take her back. And therefore what we ended up doing here is we ended up setting up the Torah that both the case of ones and the case of Motzi Shemer are not the case that Rabbi Yochanan was talking about. We originally said Rabbi Yochanan can't be right when he says that if you have the aseh and then the lo saseh, you get malchus. He can't be right because you clearly see in the case of ones where you have the aseh and then the lo saseh, you don't get malchus. The Gemara is answering at this point. Rabbi Yochanan would agree to that. Because Rabbi Yochanan, when he says aseh and then lo saseh, you get malchus, that's a case where there's an aseh and then a lo saseh. This is not that case. Because now we've established that both of those cases, when you read the Torah carefully, really are cases of lav hanitak la'aseh. Yes, there's an aseh beforehand, v'lo tiel le'isha, but there's also an aseh afterwards, either by Motzi Shemer v'lo tiel le'isha, or by ones kol yamav. And therefore, it's a case of lav hanitak la'aseh. Therefore, Rabbi Yochanan would agree that in these cases, you go ahead and you would be able to not get malchus by taking her back. And at the end of the day, he would still say that if it's just aseh followed by a lo saseh, then, in fact, you would get malchus, which is the case of Tameh in the Mikdash. When it says v'lo yitamu afterwards, so then if he goes into the Mikdash, even if you then send him out, you'll still get malchus. Very geschmack. V'chein ki yasser rabin amar Rabbi Yochanan koyma be'amar ve'achzer. Amar le Rav Papa l'Rava. One problem. V'halo dami lavya l'lav de chasima. The problem is that it's not like the lav of chasima. Now we're done with this discussion of ones and Hashem. Now we're going back to Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says that if you have an aseh followed by a lo saseh, you're going to get malchus. Everybody else says you don't get malchus. It's like having the lav before the aseh. The problem is that the Gemara says, but it's not like the lav of chasima. What was the lav of chasima? If you remember from 2 days ago, it talks about malchus and says lo sach som shor bedisho. And the Gemara says that you only get malchus for cases that are like that case. It's a regular pashut isser. It's a lo saseh. If there's any aseh involved, like a lav hanitak la'aseh, you don't get malchus. So how's Rabbi Yochanan going to answer that? Who cares if it's a lav that's followed by an aseh or an aseh that's before a lav? Either way, it's not exactly like lo sach som shor bedisho, which is just a lo saseh. So how can he say in this case you're going to get malchus? We said before that you only get malchus if it's exactly like lo sach som shor bedisho, about muzzling your animal, which has no aseh attached to it. Says Gemara, amalei mishum dechaseh be'rachman aseh yisera migra gara. Just because there's an aseh before the lav, it's going to make it worse and say now you don't get malchus? Says Gemara, genius. If you're going to use that svara, so then why should a lav hanitak la'aseh not get malchus? Just because there's an extra aseh after the lav, lemaisa, you're not going to get malchus? Amarle, no. Hahul and tuke lavu da'asa. No. You're understanding how it works differently. It's wrong. A lav hanitak la'aseh, this is Rabbi Yochanan talking. Again, everybody else will agree. It doesn't matter if the lav comes first or the aseh comes first. The aseh fixes the lav. But according to Rabbi Yochanan, there'll be a nafkamina. Lav hanitak la'aseh. When you have the lav and then you have the aseh, don't steal. And if you steal, return it. Don't leave over the korban until the morning. And if you do, then burn it. The lav hanitak la'aseh, the aseh is clearly coming to be a kapara for doing the lav. Therefore, you do the lav, then you do the aseh, you have a kapara and you don't get malchus. But in the case where the aseh comes before the lav, that's not a kapara. The aseh is before the lav. You have to send them out of the machaneh. The lo yitamu es machaneim, and they can't go into the mikdash. Therefore, lamaisa, when the aseh is before the lav, you will in fact get malchus according to Rabbi Yochanan. Fine. That was the easy part. Zog the Gemara. Hani chalamandi amar bitlu v'lo bitlu, elalamandi amar kimu v'lo kimu ma'iko l'meimar. Let's see. We have to see one Rashi. Bottom Rashi, 7 lines of Rashi. The Gemara, I'm going to say it outside for a second so that we understand. There's a machlokes over here as to how exactly a lav hanitak la'aseh works. How does a lav hanitak la'aseh work? There's 2 possibilities. When I do the lav, I'm over the lav, and now I can go ahead and fix it by doing the aseh. It means I do the lav, I'm chayav malchus at this point, and now I can go ahead, and if I do the aseh, I fix it. What happens? How much time do I have to do the aseh? So Gemara is saying that that's considered to be kimu velo kimu. I have to be mekayim the aseh. If I'm not mekayim the asay, then I will get the malchus. How much time do I have? Well, seemingly whenever Beis Din tries me. I did the los asay, I'm tried at Beis Din, I'm found to be guilty, and right away they say, okay, now you have a choice. You could either be mekayim the asay and not get the malchus, or you not be mekayim the asay, and then we're going to have to give you the malchus. That's kimu v'lo kimu. That's the classic way that I always understood lav anitak l'asay. You do a lav, you're chayav malchus. If you do the asay, you'll fix it. If you don't do the asay, you're going to get the malchus. There's another opinion which says bitlu v'lo bitlu, which is much harder to understand. But that basically says, and this is Rabbi Yochanan's opinion, that says that when you do a lav that the Torah gave you an asay for, God didn't have to do this. But God, for whatever reason, gave certain lav hanitak l'asays. There are certain lavs that are connected to asays. So it's not the classic understanding the way that I always understood it. According to this, bitlu v'lo bitlu, you're not actually over the lav. That means, i.e., you're not chayav malchus until you're mevatel the possibility of fixing it with the asay. Listen carefully. It means according to the first opinion, the first classic way of understanding, I go ahead and I do an isser. I go ahead and I divorce that woman who I was motzi shemra on. I'm over the lav. I'm chayav malchus. Now I can get out of the malchus by going ahead and immediately or very quickly marrying her again. That's a lav anitak l'asay classic understanding. The way Rabbi Yochanan is learning it is no. When I divorce her, I was not yet over the lav. And I'm not chayav malchus because HaKadosh Baruch Hu made certain lavim that are connected to an asay. When will I be chayav malchus in that case? Only if I'm mevatel the opportunity to take her back. How would I be mevatel the opportunity to take her back? If I'm a kohen, I cannot take her back. But if I take a neder that I will never get hana from her, now I was mevatel the asay. Right. So in general, the second opinion, which is harder to understand, is saying that a lav hanitak l'asay, you will not get malchus until you actively do something to be mevatel to be mevatel the potential to fix the lav. But the lav is not chal. This is lumdus. But according to the first opinion, which is much simpler, you go ahead, you do the lav, you chayav malchus right away, then you do the asay to fix it. Fine. Zok the Gemara. Let's see the Rashi inside. So now, how does this fit in? Sorry, how does this fit into our thing over here? So when it says lo yuchal l'shalcha kol yamav, what's kol yamav? What did we say that is? We said according to Rabbi Yochanan, kol yamav is the asay that's fixing the los asay of lo yuchal shalcha. When you have a kol yamav, right, a regular lav anitak l'asay, you don't have kol yamav to fix it. When you have a regular case where you steal something, we just said that if you hold like kiyem velo kiyem, you have a day, 2 days, you have until Beis Din tries you and says you're chayav for stealing, return it now. The fact that the Torah, according to Rabbi Yochanan, again, the other opinions didn't have to learn this because they learned that this is not an asay and then a los asay, this is a lav anitak l'asay, fine. But according to Rabbi Yochanan, if kol yamav is teaching me an asay, then now I can go ahead and take her back my whole life. What does that show me? That shows that he learns that until I go ahead and actively decide that I'm never going to take her back, until I make a shvuah not to take her back, I can take her back the rest of my life, and you can't give me malchus because I wasn't over the lav yet. So again, so we don't have to say it inside. We just said it outside. So hanichol lemanda amar bitlu v'lo bitlu. So this whole idea of Rabbi Yochanan that kol yamav in this case is the asay that fixes lo yuchal shalcha, that only works if you learn like the man de Amar who says that a lav anitak l'asay, which is what he's trying to set it up to be, that only works if you hold that a lav anitak l'asay works in the way that you're not actually chayav for the lav till you're mevatel the asay, and therefore kol yamav you have your whole life unless you're mevatel it biyadayim. The one who says that it works in the classic way that we always understood, that you do a lav, you're chayav malchus for the lav, and then you have to be mekayim, so then kol yamav doesn't fit with that. How could I have my entire life to go ahead and fix it? L'maisa, I have to fix it now or else I'm done. So the Gemara is going to answer, good. It happens to be that we only need kol yamav according to Rabbi Yochanan, and Rabbi Yochanan holds like the man d'Amar who says that the way that lav anitak l'asay works is bitlu v'lo bitlu. That's what the Gemara is going to do on the next page. Midei hu taima el Rabbi Yochanan. It's not a problem because kol yamav is only according to Rabbi Yochanan. Flip the page. Ha'amar le Rabbi Yochanan l'tana tani bit lo chayav lo bit lo pater. If you're mevatel it biyadayim, you're chayav. If you're not mevatel it, then you're pater. Because at the end of the day, again, the default is that you're not chayav the lav unless you go ahead and are mevatel the potential to do the asay. Tani tana kamei de Rabbi Yochanan. Where do we see this? Kol mitzvah lo saseh sheyesh bakum asay. That's a lav anitak lasay. How does it work? Kiye masay sheba pater. Bitel asay sheba chayav. That's a contradiction. Minei ubei. If I go ahead and I'm mekayim the asay, then I'm pater. If I'm bittul the asay, I'm chayav, which implies that if I'm not bittul the asay, I'm pater. It can't be both. It can't be that if you're kayim the asay, you don't get malchus, and at the same token, if you're not batul the asay, you don't get malchus. The first one implies that in order to not get malchus, you have to actually be mekayim the asay, and the second one says that you won't get malchus unless you're actually mevatel the asay. So which one is it? Amar le maika amar kiyem pater lo kiyem chayev, bitel chayev lo bitel pater. What is it? Tani bitlo velo bitlu. So again, it comes out that Rabbi Yochanan is the one who holds that the way that a regular case of lav anitak lasei works, not this case of onus, a regular case. This is a case of lav anitak lasei, but a regular case. If you steal your chayev, then you have to return it. So we said a classic case is you steal, you chayav malchus. If you don't return it right away, you get malchus. That's kiyem velo kiyem. Rabbi Yochanan doesn't learn like that. He learns in the more lumdish approach that when you steal something, you're not chayav malchus. Even though when you do a regular asay, you're chayav malchus. But by stealing, you're not chayav malchus, because since the Torah gave you an asay to go ahead and return it, until you destroy that item, you will not be chayav the malchus. That's called bitlu velo bitlu. And that works only according bitlu, and that's why these psukim only can be explained according to Rabbi Yochanan and according to those who are like him, who say that the way that lav anitak lasei works is bitlu velo bitlu. Therefore, in this case, it could be a lav anitak lasei by kol yamav, because again, as long as you don't go ahead and take a shvua not to get hana from her, you are going to be able to avoid the malchus.
What happens when she gets married to someone else?
So that's it. So it's interesting. I think the Rishonim discuss that bidlu velo bidlu is only when you don't go ahead, when you're mevatel it. But the same case, if you steal something and then you lose it, so now you're chayiv the malchus. But if you steal something and she dies, the owner dies, or let's say she dies in the meantime. If she dies in the meantime, you weren't mevatel it biyadayim, seemingly you would not get the malchus. Correct. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish Omer, kimu velo kimu. You're Mekayim or you're not Mekayim, like we said. So now the Gemara says, and we're going to end with this. It took much shorter in the second year than the first year. B'mai kamiflagi, what are they arguing about? Behasras safek kamiflagi. Very, very complicated. They're arguing whether when you give a warning besafek, it works. Mar savar Rabbi Yochanan says hasra safek shma hasra. Umar savar hasra safek lo shma hasra. We're going to actually stop here. I want to read the Rashis though. So we're going to spend 5 more minutes reading these Rashis, and then we'll pick up here because that's what I got to in the first year. So let's read exactly what is this talking about, that when you do a warning, it is or is not shma hasra if it's a safek warning. Let's read those 2 Rashis on the left side where it gets wide. Rabbi Yochanan savar hasra safek shma hasra. Mi'afagav dechol lo saseh shenitak laaseh lidvarav hatra asafeki. Every single case of lav hanitak laaseh, let's say this outside for a second. Every case of lav hanitak laaseh, according to him, it is a hasra safek. What does that mean? That means according to their classic understanding, when I warn you not to be megarish this woman, that's a regular hasra. I'm warning you not to be megarish this woman. If you are megarish this woman, what happens? You get malchus. You can fix it with an asay by taking her back, but like we said, according to the classic understanding, you do the lav, you're chayiv the malchus, and then you can fix it. But that's a regular hasra. Don't go ahead and divorce her. I warn you not to divorce her. If you do, you're going to get malchus. If you learn the other way, that you're actually not over the lav until you go ahead and are mevatel the asay, then when I warn you, I can't really warn you in the classic way. I can't warn you and say, if you divorce her, you're going to get malchus. You're going to say that's not true. Because if I divorce her, I still don't get malchus until I'm mevatel. So it's called the hasra safek according to him, because at the end of the day, I'm warning you for something that is not a real classic warning. Because I'm warning you, if you divorce her, you may or may not get malchus. You may get malchus if you are mevatel the asay, and you may not get malchus if you're not mevatel the asay. As opposed to the other way, yes, you may end up not getting malchus eventually if you do the asay to fix it, but at the time that I warn you, it's a definite warning. If you do this, you will get malchus. You do this, you get malchus. You happen to pull out a card afterwards that says, get out of jail free, because you went ahead and you did the asay, but at the time that I warned you and you did it, you're now Chayim Malkus. If something happens right now, as of now, if we freeze time, you're Chayim Malkus. Therefore, I warned you, you did what I told you not to do, you're Chayim Malkus. That's not a Safek Hasra. As opposed to, according to the other way of learning, Rabbi Yochanan, after I warn you and you were Megarisher, you're not Chayim Malkus. Therefore, retroactively, when I warned you, that wasn't a full warning. Everybody get that? That's what it's Gemara is saying. That Hasra Safek. So again, Ve'afagav decholo sase shenitak lasei lidvarav Hasra Safeki. So clearly Rabbi Yochanan who holds what? Rabbi Yochanan who holds that a lav hanitak lasei. Rabbi Yochanan who holds what? Rabbi Yochanan would say that it's Shema Asra. If eventually we're going to give you, because again, eventually you could get Malkus according to both of them. If you're not Mekayim the Asay, according to the first opinion, and if you're Mevatel the Asay, according to the second opinion, you get Malkus. But according to Rabbi Yochanan, how can I ever give you Malkus? Yes, I warned you, don't do it. But that's not a real warning. Because what? That might not come to fruition. Let's say then you are Mevatel the Asay. You go ahead and you take a neder not to marry her again, or not to get an from her. Now everybody agrees, Lav Anitak Lasay, you only don't get Malkus if you do the Asay. But if you don't do the Asay because you were Mevatel, we're going to give you Malkus. How can you give me Malkus, Rabbi Yochanan? It was a Hasra Safek. You can only give me Malkus when you have a real Hasra. Therefore, Rabbi Yochanan must hold that Hasra Safek is Shema Hasra. That when you do this quasi Hasra, it's considered to be a good Hasra. Therefore, even though Lamaisa, you're not going to be over the lav right away, when and if, or if and when you are Mevatel, the potential of marrying her again by getting a Shrua that you're not going to get enough from her, they're going to get Malkus. Therefore, we see that according to Asra Safek Ishma Asra. According to the other opinion, you would say Asra Safek is Lo Shma Asra. But it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, when you warn them, the way that the Metzias is working is it's not a Hasra Safek. Hasra Safek, this is not Hasra Safek. In that case, if you learn Bittul Lo Bittul, so then this opinion will say Hasra Safeks don't work. That's why they're going to say it's not working als that. It's working that you're giving a regular Hasra, the person's being over the Isser. When they're over the Isser, they're Chayim Malkus right away. They can get out of it with getting out of jail free. Fine, Eina Chanami. That's the Machlokes, and that's the underlying Machlokes, whether you hold that it works vis-a-vis Bittul, or whether you learn it works vis-a-vis Kimu. If you learn Kimu, which is the regular way, then Asra Safek is Lo Shma Asra, and over here it's only going to get Malkus because it's not considered to be Asra Safek. And if you learn Bittul V'lo Bitlu, then you must learn Asra Safek is Shma Hasra. Okay, shkoyach everyone.